Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk Energy, where we discuss all things energy on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. I'm Sheena Decker with Maui Electric and your host for today's show. Hawaii has one of the most ambitious energy goals in the nation, 100% renewable energy by 2045. To reach this monumental goal, we're working together, and we recognize it will take a diverse mix of resources, everything from wind, biomass, hydro, and solar. With nearly 12,000 rooftop solar systems across our county, solar will be one of the important resources that powers us to our goal. Here with me to discuss the current state of solar is Amy Etterling, the Distributed Energy Program Administrator at Maui Electric. Amy, thanks so much for joining us today. So tell us what you do in your position at Maui Electric.
Well, I've been with the renewable energy team at Maui Electric for about 5 years, and I administer all of the DER programs. DER stands for Distributed Energy Resources, and that includes any photovoltaic or renewable resource that is attached to the Maui Electric grid. That could be a small rooftop solar system to a large commercial solar installation. Our team manages these projects from start to finish, and along the way we really try to empower and educate our customers through the process.
And that's amazing. In the last 5 years, you must have seen a tremendous influx in rooftop solar on all three of our islands, Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. And you've helped many homes and businesses get rooftop solar. What does the process look like today? What could a customer expect?
Well, right now the process is in a pretty exciting state. You know, we have a couple of new programs that are coming out. We've just launched an online tool to try to make the process more efficient and more transparent. So the process is getting better, it's getting faster, but it does still involve some research on the part of the customer. You know, any customer wants to go to our website, do some research on the programs that are available, and they want to look for ones that are right for them. There is a lot of information on our website, so it can be difficult to read. So if you run into any challenges there, we're always here as trusted energy advisors to be able to help customers understand what the options are and what programs are right for their situation. The actual application process timeline varies, you know, depending on the particular situation and circuit. But it can be anywhere from a few weeks to a few months before they get a conditional approval and are able to begin installation.
And that's a typical length of a process, but they always have that personal connection. They can give you a call or they can reach you here.
We are there for them through the entire process, and that's one of the fun parts of my job, that I do get to interact with customers and be able to advise them. You know, we're not able to tell them to go to a specific contractor. You know, that's not one of the things we do, but we can definitely provide them with information about how to find good contractors. You know, to talk to at least 3 different people, make sure you do your research, just so that, you know, this is a big decision that people are going to make. This is a lot of money to outlay, so we really want to make sure that they're comfortable with the decisions that they're making, that the decisions they're making are going to work not only for their lifestyle right now, but for any future changes, you know, buying an EV or other things like that are going to affect their energy usage. So we really just want to make sure that we're setting them up for success with their renewable energy goals.
Yes, and I think that's so helpful. You know, it is really a tremendous investment, right, to get a solar system either for your home or your business. So what are some commonly asked questions maybe from customers that you hear a lot about?
Well, there is one really main common question, and that really has to do with the process, you know, with how long it takes, and especially as customers get to the end of the process, you know, you kind of see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel and you get excited. When can I turn my system on? And that's probably the most common question. When can I turn my system on? And really, you're not allowed to turn your system on. It's not permitted until you have a Maui Electric meter installed and you have a permission to operate letter. So maybe I can talk about that for a minute,
Yes.
Just that end of the process. So In the beginning, the application comes in, it goes through some technical reviews. Ideally, it reaches the point of conditional approval, and the customer is able to then go install their system. They would go to the county, pull the county permits, get the system installed, go back to the county, get approval for their permits, make sure all their inspections pass, and then come back to Maui Electric and say, okay, my project's complete, I'm ready to fully be connected to the grid. We're going to do a review on all of that information. We're also going to do an on-site inspection to make sure that everything is wired up properly and working the way it's intended for the program that it's associated to. And once that's done, then we'll swap the meter out, and then they have permission to operate and they can energize their system.
And that's the exciting part,
and
right?
that's the exciting part,
from
yeah.
The finish, start to the finish. Are there any other questions that commonly come up that you want to share here today?
A lot of the questions that come up really are just very specific to what my needs are versus what programs are available. So it's hard to address that specifically, and I would just recommend that if you go to the website and you look around and it's confusing, there's a lot of information out there and it can be confusing. So if there are any questions at all, please contact any one of our team and we'll be able to walk you through what the right choice is for you. In addition, contractors also have a lot of information about what the programs are, in addition to how those programs might work in conjunction with whatever equipment combination they're offering and how that might benefit the customer the best. So.
Right, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how customers can learn more through some new tools, and so we're going to ask you to stick around a little bit more.
Okay.
And thank you to all of you for tuning in to Let's Talk Energy. We'll come back after this break to talk a little bit more about the state of solar on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. Welcome back to Let's Talk Energy, where we discuss all things energy on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. We're here talking with Amy Ederling about the state of solar and the options available to all of you. So Amy, thanks again for joining us today. So recently the Public Utilities Commission approved several new solar programs. Can you tell us a little bit more about these new programs?
Sure, yes. So we're really excited about this. On February 20th, the PUC approved two new programs. One of them is called CGS Plus, which stands for Customer Grid Supply Plus, and the other one is called Smart Export, and I'll talk a little bit about each of those. Sure. Customer Grid Supply Plus is similar to a program that we already have in existence, Customer Grid Supply, that just happens to be full on its program capacity, so is no longer really available. So this is a newer version of that. It does come with the option to export energy back to the grid and receive a credit on your monthly bill. The credit varies depending on the island that you live on, but the intention of the program is to control the systems that are out there when they're operating, and to make sure that they're operating at a time that is safe and reliable for the grid. So it is possible for systems under CGS Plus to be curtailed for short amounts of time in order for us to maintain the safety and reliability of the grid if there's an excess power situation.
So that would be when you say curtail, it's like during times when we wouldn't necessarily need the energy at that time, let's say, middle of the day or...
It could mean exactly that, yes. It could mean that at a time where we already have a very large amount of energy coming onto the grid, adding any additional energy could be damaging in some way or unsafe. So us having the ability to control that and curtail that, even just for a short time, can really help us to maintain a safe and reliable supply.
But that's still beneficial to customers who
Absolutely.
can be incentivized to participate in these programs and then get a different type of rate.
Absolutely, yes. And the great thing about the CGS Plus program is that you are still able to receive a credit on your bill for what you can export back, and that there's an annual true-up on the program, which means at the end of the year you'll be able to recoup any cost that you may have paid out compared to any credits you might have available.
Okay, and then you also mentioned Smart Export. Tell us a little bit about
Smart Export is a little bit different. So Smart Export is designed to be used in conjunction with a battery. So you will want to have a battery in order to use the Smart Export system. And the idea behind it is that during the day, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., you would use your solar system to charge up your battery. And then during the hours of 4 p.m. to 9 a.m., you would then use that stored up energy to supply your home. So that's the Smart Export time. So that during those heavy load times in the evening, you're actually supplying your own energy and helping the grid stay balanced.
So that's exciting to have two new programs. How, if I'm a customer, you know, we're all customers, how do we know which program is right for me or my family?
And that is a really good question. It is challenging to decide what the right thing is for you. Like I mentioned before, there's a lot of information on our website, but really if you have questions and you sincerely are ready to move forward, please call us, please talk to us. Anyone on our team will be able to discuss what the options are for your unique situation. And again, get in touch with at least 3 contractors. There will be different information out there, different combinations of equipment as well as pricing.
Right. I love like how you tailor fit a program to a customer's need. And those 2 programs are great for residential customers. And I know there's a new program coming out, Community-Based Renewable Energy, or CBRE. So, you know, that's a new exciting program that is open to folks that might not necessarily own their own home, or tell us a little bit more about that new program.
That CBRE is so exciting. You know, I'm a renter, so I'm not able to participate in any of the programs that are currently available. So this is something that is exciting even for me. What CBRE is, Community-Based Renewable Energy, it means that a third party would go out and install an installation, a solar renewable energy installation, and then anyone who is a Maui Electric customer would then be able to buy into that to get a reduced rate on their bill. This is especially useful for people like me who are renters, or someone who is in an apartment or maybe in a condominium who just can't install solar panels on their home.
Right. So these are programs that really work with our grid, right? Because you know, with retired solar programs, we're moving into a new era of solar that, you know, does have some controllability at certain times for the utility, for safety and reliability, and then also doing the other side of the coin, which is folks who might not necessarily own their own roof or can participate in the typical programs that we have available.
Yes, so it's really trying to make options for everyone to be able to participate in our goal for 100% of renewable Hawaii.
Yeah, and you have such an important role in that. Is there, as part of these new programs, you know, you mentioned getting, you know, bids from 3 contractors, and I know there's some new tools out too that could help our customers. Can you tell us a little bit more about those tools?
There are a couple of tools that I can think of right off the bat. Number one is WattPlan. If you have heard of WattPlan, it is accessible through our website, and it is just a tool that will enable you to go in, enter some information about yourself and what your energy goals are, and it will help you determine what a good size of PV system might work for you.
I love that tool. You can actually put in your home address, and it tells you, you know, what your current electric bill is, right? And then it kind of measures what kind of PV system might work out for you.
It does. Now, right now, it's mainly tailored for CGS and CSS programs.
Okay.
So hopefully there will be some updating in the future. But even then, it still gives you a great idea of what kind of size you might want for your home.
Okay, so there's Watt Plan, and then there's another online tool that I think was recently debuted.
So the CIT, the Customer Interconnection Tool, is really a super exciting thing.
Right.
I've spent 1.5 years working on it. We've all just been so excited to see this come online. It is an online application process. It's an online platform where customers and contractors can apply for CGS Plus, CSS, and Smart Export programs right now, and going forward we'll add any new programs to it as well. But they can apply for any of those programs right now, and it makes the process more efficient, more transparent. The customer can go in, find out the status of any number of their applications if they have more than one. Contractors can go in and keep track of all of their applications and where they're at and what needs to happen next. It gives a lot of great detail about the exact step in the process that the application happens to be. It also explains what will happen next. So super transparent. It sends notifications out automatically to both contractors and customers for every step of the process. So that's part of the transparency we really want our customers to know exactly what's going on, keep them informed, keep them empowered, so that they're able to meet their goals as quickly as they can and in the way that they want to.
And the really great part about the Customer Interconnection Tool, it was really based off of customer feedback too, wanting to know what steps they were in, and so that was not really able to the customer to be able to see in the past, right? Like they couldn't see, oh, what phase am I in? So then they can go log on onto this new tool. And what are some other things that people should be aware of if they're logging in for the first time on Customer Interconnection Tool?
Well, a couple of things you might want to know about the Customer Interconnection Tool. You don't have to log in if you don't want to. If you're a customer and you choose for your contractor to go in and apply on your behalf, you don't have to log into the tool. You do want your contractor to put in a correct email address for you. As long as they do that, then the tool is going to send you automatic updates, just so you're still going to be aware exactly where you are in the process. And it'll also allow you at the end of the process to participate in the DocuSign feature, which allows you to execute your application online without having to do any sort of wet signature and mailing anything in.
So it's really electronic, more efficient, not paper so much anymore.
So that, so the one thing to know is that you don't have to log in, but you can log in. You can create a login, and in that way, if you have, say, maybe multiple properties and you want to keep track of where everything is, it's a good way to go in and just keep track of what's going on.
So it sounds like it's such a great, exciting time to be in distributed energy resource, new programs, new tools for customers to use. I mean, you are really playing such an important role in part with our customers to get to 100% renewable energy, by 2045. What's some of the most exciting things that, in your viewpoint, in your job right now that you are looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I am so lucky to do what I do. I am excited every day to do what I do. I really enjoy helping customers meet their goals, feeling their excitement for being able to be part of the renewable energy force in the world and help save them money. Also, just renewable energy itself is an amazing force to be part of. We've seen exponential growth. We've seen tons of program changes and process improvements like the CIT, and who knows what's next, but there's always going to be more, and that's part of what's exciting about it, is it's constantly changing.
Yeah, and so you're really good at changing with the times and just helping our whole island, change and adopt to new things that are coming up with renewable energy. So there's so much information about these solar programs out there. I know you mentioned several ways to get in touch, but how about you share it again, just so people know, and you're the exact face to who they would be calling?
Sure. If you call the main line, you're going to hear my lovely voice answer the phone.
That's good.
At the moment, So you can call us. You can email us at connect@mauielectric.com. In addition, you can get in touch with us through our website. So.
So thanks again to Amy for talking to us about the state of solar on Maui County. We're going to get to know one of our other Maui Electric employees in this next Getting to Know Miko segment, Fred Baba Sandy.
Hi, my name is Baba Sandy, and I'm a lineman and I work for Maui Electric. Been doing this for the last 16 years. Actually started off as a utility serviceman. Yeah, I was born and raised on Lanai. Went to school to be a mechanic, and then came back home and signed up to work for Maui Electric, and here I am today. I've been married for the last 22 years. I have 4 kids, 3 daughters, and my son. In my free time, I like to coach softball, and I love fishing and hunting. I stay involved with church, so I play the drums for King's Chapel Lanai. What I enjoy about my job is the people that I work with. Not every day is the same. We get to enjoy the beauty of the Aina. Hi, I'm Baba Sandy, and thanks for getting to know me. Aloha.
Thanks again for tuning in to Let's Talk Energy, where we discuss all things energy on Maui, Molokai, and Lanai. We want to hear from you, our customers, so please send us a comment or a question or future topic idea to letstalkenergy@mauielectric.com. This episode will air every Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here on Channel 55. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.